whole notion of values in this day and age is hugely important. And whether you're with a company like Salesforce.com or IBM, I just signed our quarterly results. So there's 100,000 people in the Americas, in countries all over, and you've got to be able to testify that the financial results that you're about to announce are true. And you can't do that through supervising your way or even through processes. You've got to have, at its core, a set of values that transcends the organization, that kind of keeps the organization centered. And I think there's a lot of tremendously impressive things about Salesforce.com and Jim and Mark. But one of it is, Mark has always been, at least in my experience, very values-driven. And I think it's incredibly important right now for all kinds of companies, but particularly companies that are young and starting to develop a reputation.
And
sure,
one other comment that Mark reminded me of. Yesterday when Colin Powell was at our event, Mark talked about what inspired him to build the Salesforce Foundation. So anybody that's starting a company, I'll tell you, start your foundation, start your non-profit, volunteer work from day one. Mark actually opened the foundation 3 months into he had 5 people in the company. And he put 1% of the company stock into it, which when we went public, that 1%, which was kind of a joke, with 5 people, it was like, it sounded like this little, it was worth 30 million, and now it's worth actually a lot more than that. But the point is that it's all relative. And Mark said, I don't want to be one of these Silicon Valley companies that, like Oracle, had done this after, there was some criticism. Oracle wrote this check for $100 million and started the Oracle Promise. And that was because Colin Powell basically embarrassed them into doing that. And Mark was at Oracle at the time, and Larry said, Mark, go figure out how to make this pervasive in the company. And they had this event in Washington, D.C. No employees showed up for it. And he said, this is crazy. And Colin Powell sent the Marines over to help them install these computers, which is a great story that he told yesterday. But the point is that if you kind of embed this into your culture from day one, like IBM. IBM is actually the kind of the motivation, inspiration for what Mark has done, just because it's so pervasive in the culture that you're not doing this just to put money in your pocket. You got to get back to the community, and your customers and your partners will respect you a lot more for it. They'll want to do business with people that have those same kind of values.
I'm the proof point for the no money in the pocket part. So
Mark, how should young companies have India and China in their plans? I know you spent a lot of time in Asia yourself, so how should it be factored into a plan of any company?
Well, I think there's 2 vectors to answer that question. One is there's a tremendous talent of resource, tremendous wealth of resource in India, China, Russia, Brazil. Important statistic. More engineers will graduate from Brazil, India, China, Russia, and the G7 combined this year. So in our industry, technology industry, that's an incredibly important point. North Carolina, I think, has done a very good job with math and science in elementary, but this is something we got to stay on. So one is a source of talent. We at IBM are desperately short for engineering talent, so it's an important place for us to tap into. The second is it's a domestic market that is growing 7, 8, 9%. And as you look at the IT market overall growing 3, 4, 5%, that's a useful level of growth. So I think those are the 2 primary ways, but you've got to think about the world differently. You've got to think about not just your state, not just your community, but think about the world and the competitors and the markets in a much broader way. Because if you're not, I assure you there's somebody in India and China that is.
Now, all of my young company CEO friends want to know whether Salesforce, with their valuable currency, or IBM with its valuable currency and big cash balance, is actually out buying young companies. Jim, are you ready to write some checks today?
This is one of the things.
I know no long discussion.
Can't say that yet because I haven't talked to all of you yet, but we actually have done 2 acquisitions, which in a company 7.5 years old is not many. And that's because Mark has really driven us to be very focused and stick to our knitting and not get distracted. But we've looked and said any technology that fills a gap in our core offering of CRM that we believe should be part, that our customers expect us to have that embedded in, and that we don't think we can build ourselves in the time frame that our customers need it, we will consider it. So we bought 2 companies. One was Sendia, that had taken Salesforce and streamed it into a server and then distributed to PDAs. So you get all your contacts and opportunities and leads, right on your BlackBerry, for example. This company, Sendia, that was doing that independent of us, and we bought them and embedded them into our offering. The second one was a company called Keaton. Keaton did not exist 9 months ago. 3 people, they started a technology that allowed Google AdWords to be embedded into Salesforce, so you could do like a closed loop CRM process. So as you create your Google ad campaign, send it out, you can do that in about 20, 30 seconds, and you decide how much you want to spend on it. You click a button, and as those leads start to come in, they're all captured right in Salesforce and managed. Those are the 2 that we've done so far, and they've both been very successful. And you know, we do have an M&A team of 2 people, so we'll see. We're not buying them by the dozens like IBM.
So, Mark, what are some of the themes or characteristics?
Yeah, first of all, it's an important part of our business. So we've told our investors, our analysts, that each year we'll drive 2 to 3 points of growth through acquisitions. We have been particularly busy in the last 75 days. We spent $3 billion in the last 75 days buying companies. We bought ISS, MRO, FileNet,